Yo, yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Chris coming at you with another episode to the Beautiful Struggle podcast. And this is episode number 81. And if this is your first time tuning into the Beautiful Struggle podcast, this podcast is all about embracing your struggle and finding beauty in your struggle as well. It's specifically about personal development and business. And we drop a new episode every single Monday of the week. So start your week off right with some positivity and some valuable content. All right. Also, for my loyal listeners out there, you guys already know. If you guys can share this episode with one other person that may need to hear this podcast, that would mean the world to us. I have another guest on the podcast. We're taking a little bit of his time today, so it would really mean the world again if you shared this podcast episode with one other person. This podcast episode is definitely going to be full of value, and I'm super excited about my guest today. A little bit about my guest. He is the owner of Netter Gold. He makes products that make you feel better about yourself, from hair oils, beard oils, and many other body care products. Welcome, Michael Nightwing. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
There it
Yes.
is.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so definitely appreciate you hopping on the podcast today, man. I know, taking you with the family and whatnot, taking an hour out your day. We definitely appreciate that for sure.
No, definitely. It's funny because I had it on my phone at 5 o'clock and I'm here on the East Coast. So I hopped on at
Yeah.
5 and I was like, hold up, let me double check the email. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
that's
all good, man.
cool,
Thank you for
cool,
having
cool.
me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So usually on this podcast, we like to start off with, your background story, you growing up. I know you're from DC and whatnot. So kind of walk us through, your upbringing, your childhood life, and really how you got to the state that you're in right now. And I'm sure that's a long story, so feel free
No, I
to,
mean, I can condense it pretty well. No one's ever really asked me that question.
Okay.
So I'm
So feel free to
31.
take your time and go into detail if you want, for sure.
Yeah, it's not too, nothing too fancy when it comes to my upbringing. Grew up in DC. I'm 31. Um, my folks love each other dearly, but they shouldn't have been together.
Okay.
Um, I never wanted for anything growing up, even though we were pretty poor. Never wanted for anything in that sense. And like when I say poor, I mean we always had food on the table and everything, but we lived in low income housing, So it's that type of thing. My dad went to work every day, had a great work ethic, still goes to work every single day. Barely misses a day. And when he does miss a day, it's because he feels like just taking a break. He takes a vacation. I could always call his job and I knew he was there. My mom always made sure I was well taken care of.
Why did you feel like at a young age that you didn't want anything? Where did that come from?
Because I never asked for anything and I didn't get it.
Mm.
And the best way to put it is like I wasn't how do I put it? I was very spoiled, but my spoiledness was I'm gonna say acceptable. So I wouldn't ask for things that were outlandish. I wasn't a kid going around asking for $200 pair of Jordans. That was never my thing. I wanted this toy or I wanted some skateboards, stuff like that. So I remember one time I asked my dad, this is when eBay was first starting out. I asked my dad for, I think it was like $200 to buy 10 sets of skateboards, right? 10 blanks sets of skateboards. And because I saw it on eBay, he bought me the computer. I saw it on eBay. I was like, okay, cool. Looked at it, and you had to send a check, because there was no PayPal. He didn't have PayPal, right? So PayPal existed, but he didn't know what it was. Of course, he was like, what is this? I didn't know what it was, but you can write a check.
Wow.
So he wrote me a check for like, let's say $200. Wrote me a check for $200, right? This $200 check. I mailed it off to this company somewhere in California, and then like 6 weeks later, I got 10 sets of skateboards, 10 decks, 10 trucks, 10 sets of wheels, bearings, grip tape, everything, right? I kept 2 for myself and sold the other ones for $100 each, right? So I took the 200 and then sold. So I kept 2 to myself, right? And then I sold the other 8. So I made $800. And that was towards like the end of my skating career because my grades were slipping in college. I mean, not in college, in high school. So my senior year, my grades were slipping. So I kind of eased off of skateboarding, but that was like a quick flip I did there. So when I say I never wanted for anything, it's like, if I wanted it, I got it. But I was a reasonable person. Like even now, if I want something it's not outlandish the thing I want. And I
Mm-hmm.
rarely ask people for things. Like I'd rather get it myself because I hate hearing
Mm-hmm.
no. No is not a word I like. I hate the word no. But who always tells me yes? Me. So I always get the stuff I want. And as a kid, it was the same deal. Like I never asked for things that were not beneficial or something that I really wanted. Like I wanted Beast Wars, right? Beast Wars were these transforming animal robot things. And I really wanted them. My dad came in. I was like, can I have some Beast Wars? And he said, spell it. Had no clue how to spell it. So he's like, when you can spell it, I'll get you some. So then the next day he came home from work and came to the door. I was like, Beastwars. And then he was like, all right, okay, here you go. And gave me one. Because Toys R Us was right across the street from his job. And he was like, here you go. And then, so I never wanted for anything. I always got what I wanted. It was never like, oh, I wish I had this or I should have had this. None of that stuff. It was always, I got what I got. And my father always told me, you spoil the ones you love, right? So he spoiled my mom, he spoiled me, he spoiled my sister, he spoiled everybody in the family that, everybody essentially. He was like that person. So my motto now is baby gets what baby wants. I say it to my wife all the time. If you want it, you can have it, right? Like if you want it, you can have it. If she was like, I want a new car, I'm gonna be like, I mean, all right, your car works just fine. If you want it, sure, go for it. As long as something that we can manage, I'm not here to kill nobody's shine. But yes, I never wanted for anything. But yeah, I grew up in the city, city kid my whole life. Went to the country a couple of times, like Wyoming and stuff like that. The first thing I remember selling though was Pokemon cards. You sell those on the corner of my mom. So I used to sell on the corner of my mom when I was a kid, slinging those Pokemon cards. Every day I would get out of school.
I was gonna say not to cut you off and get off topic, but what do you think about the whole craze right now with the cards and just some of these cards that are going for like $500,000 and whatnot? And what do you think about all this?
It was fantastic for people that kept them in mint condition.
Right.
If you were able to withstand that urge of opening them up and playing with them and stuff, fantastic. Like I believe in my house, I should have 2 different binders of Pokemon cards. One is a whole bunch of Pokemon cards from my dad and I were collecting because we never played Pokemon until like the end of Pokemon. I started learning how to play, but by then I was going off to like middle school. So I upgraded my game to Yu-Gi-Oh! But we should have a binder. I'm gonna say probably like 130 of the originals. So I know there's no Charizard in there. I know there's no Blastoise. I think there's a Venusaur, and there's some other ones in there, like all originals, some first editions. It's just in my house, and I have no desire to open it up right now. Because if it's valuable now at $1 million, let's give it a couple years, it'd be even more valuable. And I have some crazy. There's some of the Japanese first edition ones for the second generation. He bought those. He bought those from some TV commercial, some infomercial from Japan themselves in like mint condition containers and stuff. And they were, I think he cost them like $400 for the set. So hopefully it appreciated in value.
Right.
But yeah, it's dope. If you're able to hold on to something for so long and just be like, boom, it's worth something, that's fantastic. But the other thing is, just like anything else when it comes to marketing or anything, if people don't want it, then that's it. Like what was it, Beanie Babies?
Oh yeah.
Like those things are like the craze. They aren't worth a damn. At least not that I can remember. I think they're not worth anything really. And everybody was like, these are gonna be it. These are gonna be it. So it's like, it's just a wave. Everything's a wave. But nostalgia sells. So I have a feeling Beanie Babies, like if somebody famous got into Beanie Babies, like
it could pop.
It could pop. Like the Paul guy, he dropped like $1 million on a fake Pokemon card. If he or somebody else gets into Beanie Babies, like I want a Beanie Baby, it's easy. Because everybody, honestly, everybody's dumb. People are dumb these days. Like they just want what everybody else wants. What they want, what everybody else has. So if you can make your stuff into that position, you'd be good to go.
Yeah.
Like if the creator of Beanie Babies came back and just started like dropping TikToks about Beanie Babies, it'll blow up. Be like, yo, what is a Beanie Baby?
Give it to a bunch of influencers.
You can finesse the whole game. Like this, everything can be bought these days easily, just with a couple tweets, couple TikToks. You're good to go. It's easy. It's way too easy.
The hype. Yep, absolutely. So did you go to college out in DC?
No, I went to college in Frostburg. So I went to Frostburg State University.
Where's that?
It's about, I want to say 2.5 hours away from DC in Western Maryland. Like I said, I grew up in
Gotcha.
DC. I had no desire. Like I was going to go to Howard. I thought about it. But
Gotcha.
one, that was too close to my mom. She would just be like, "Hey, what's up? We're hanging out." I'm like, "Nah, I'm trying to like, yeah." And then I grew up in DC, so it's
Gotcha.
like for 18 years of my life, I've been like, I'm tired of hearing go go. Like I don't like go go. I don't want to hear this, so I don't feel like going to Howard and hearing this. And then of course it's just I never went anywhere.
Mm.
You know, for me, you can't really experience life. You're in the same city all the
Absolutely.
time. Like you're in the same city you grew up in. Like you can live there, you know, your whole life. That's fine. But if you've never traveled outside of there, like experience other things, you don't know nothing. Like I met a dude a
Mm.
couple of years ago. He was like 40, 45. He had never been to Virginia. Now, for anybody listening or watching this, DC is a small little semi-triangle diamond looking thing
It's a
that borders
district.
Virginia and Maryland. It's
Mm.
literally like a 10 mile. I think the city itself is like 10 miles. Like
Mm.
from one end to other is like 10 miles. This man had never gone to Virginia, which is literally a train ride or a bus ride. You can walk across a bridge to go to Virginia. He had never
Mm.
been. He was like 40 something years old. So unless he'd been
Crazy.
locked up when he was like 7 and then never got out until he was like 40 something, it makes no sense that how you grow up in the city and never been to the connecting state. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's literally a train ride. You
It's
can just
crazy.
miss your stop and end up in Virginia, but he had never been.
Mm.
So
Wow.
that was one of the things like just you gotta experience things. That was something my dad always said, experience things, go out, try stuff. Like we used to eat veal, lamb,
Mm. Just to try
like
it.
fancy stuff that stuff the hood you don't have the stuff in the hood, but
Right.
you try these things, you get used, you try new things, and then you can start living a different life, a better life, a stronger
Yeah.
life. You know, because
Yeah.
if you're always around the same people you grew up with and they've never done anything and you've never done anything, you're not going to progress anywhere. You
Mm.
know, that's why I was like generational folks that are on generational welfare. Because my
Yeah.
grandma was on welfare, and then my aunts and my mom was on welfare, so we're gonna be on
Mm.
welfare because
It's all
that's
we
all you
know.
know. It's
Yeah.
all you know.
Yeah.
You
That's
know.
crazy because me growing up on the West Coast, it's funny because when we think of the East Coast, we don't, over here, a lot of people don't know DC, Virginia, Maryland. They just think it's New York
Yeah, pretty
and then
much. Just New
Florida.
York. Yeah,
um,
like that's it.
but what I was going to say over here, I moved around a lot of my life. And growing up, as a child, it probably was difficult for me, never having a best friend or never like, always meeting new people, always being that new kid. But I've grown to appreciate it growing up because I've been exposed to so many different environments, so many different cities, so many different people.
Yeah,
Living in Southern California, Northern California, living in Oregon, it's like there's three different
yeah.
states right there.
That's a lot. That's a lot of different vibes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I agree. I mean, you definitely learn a lot. Like I said, I grew up in Sacramento, and I know people that have never went to San Francisco, which is like a hour and a half drive. Never been out their city. So it really does blow my mind, and I agree with you for sure.
Hey, question: is that a Mastery by Robert Greene behind you?
Yes, it is.
So it's funny, right? I did a bike trip cross country like in 2011. I went from
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore, which is East Coast, to
Yep.
um, Seattle, Washington, which is the West Coast, about 4,000 miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, like the theories I had when I was in college, that I had even when I was like, I guess, younger than that, but one of the theories I always had growing up, in a sense, was whatever you wanted to do as a kid was your purest desire. And then
Mm-hmm.
anything else that you decided to do after that was the universe, not the universe, sorry, the societal pressure being put on you, right? So
Right.
when I was a kid, I remember I was at like a church function or something. And like I'm not religious now, but my mom, we used to go to church and stuff when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going to this church function and asked like all the kids, like, what do you want to be when you get older? I said a NASCAR driver,
Mm.
dead ass serious, right? I wanted to drive race cars, right? My dad worked in a car dealership. I wanted to drive cars. I got laughed out by everybody in there.
Mm-hmm.
They just laughed, right? Like, you black, you can't be a NASCAR driver. And I have no desire to do that anymore. I guess that was one of those like kid things. My
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing was always to be a hero and save the world. But I just remember that because that was like, that could have been the thing that broke me as a kid.
Yeah, I
To
was gonna
leave
ask. Do you
my,
think You think that, affected you?
Can I curse on this?
Go ahead, do you?
Yeah, no, like that gave me a very fuck everybody attitude, which I
Mm-hmm.
already had.
Mm-hmm.
But it added to my nonchalant attitude. But I just remember thinking like, fuck y'all. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
a kid. I can't remember how old it was, but I knew the word fuck. My parents cursed a lot. So I knew that word and how to display it. But no, that wasn't a defining moment in my life. That's just a memory that I would never.
Mm.
Okay, I guess it is a defining moment. It's a memory I have of realizing that your dreams are not for everybody. And if you're too
Right.
small, if people's minds are
Mm.
too small, they're not open enough for that, it's not going to
That's
work.
good.
So I remember those little posters in elementary school where it was like the mind works like a parachute, or the mind is like a parachute. It works best when it's open. It was always
Mm.
little posters on the wall. I remember that one all the time. And that moment in that church was a defining moment that they don't see what I see, and you can't expect them to believe what you believe, which is why I came up with the thing. I guess at some point, I don't know when I have these random, like I came up with this thing, but at some point in my life, I came up with a thing, a saying, a phrase of believing yourself so much that others are forced to do the same, because no one
I love that.
believes in you until you believe in you,
Yeah.
right? Like I believed in people that didn't believe in themselves. It was a waste of my fucking time.
Waste your time and
Wasting
energy.
my fucking time. But when someone starts believing in themselves, that's when people are like, okay, okay. Like the dude that goes to the gym, starts out scrawny, starts out skinny, he's gonna get laughed at by everybody in there. His friends are gonna laugh at him, but he keeps it up. He starts getting those abs, starts looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna change their attitude about what he did, because they're gonna like, okay, we see you, we believe in you. Um, so that was definitely, I guess, a defining moment in my life. It didn't mess me up, but it let me know things were how things were. I guess the best way
Mm-hmm.
to put it. Because like I said, I always
Absolutely.
wanted to be a hero. I always wanted to save the world. So NASCAR driving was just one of those things as a kid. I just want to be a NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck that. Them shits was that shit was funny. It's a great memory. But I brought up mastery because when I was on that bike trip, the thing I went into thinking was what you want to do as a kid was your purest, your most pure desire. And I remember I talked to a guy, and he owned a bike shop, right? Because
Mm.
we were on bicycles, so stopped the bike shops and getting stuff repaired. And I was talking to him, and I was like, "Oh, what do you want to do as a kid?" Trying to figure out if my theory was correct. I asked a bunch of people along the trip these things, but this guy I remember specifically. He said he always wanted to build toys, wanted to be a
Mm.
toy maker. So I laughed. I was like, "Aha! This is what you're doing now. You,
Yeah.
these are big toys." And I told him my theory, and he said, "I'll do one better. I'll do you one better. I'm actually a retired rocket scientist for NASA. I used to make the rockets or design the rockets that went into space. But then I retired. I always loved bikes, so here I am." I was like, well, shit, there you go. He always wanted to make toys. He made the biggest fucking
The
toys in
biggest
the
toy.
world, sent them off into space. And I remember I was reading Mastery. I read 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction, 33 Strategies of War. I skipped over the 50th law. I'm not reading that shit. It was 250 cents for me, and I just wasn't
Mm.
fucking with that one. But I remember looking at Master, opened it up, and the very first fucking chapter, that little sliver right in the middle, it was talking about how whatever you want to do as a kid was what you always wanted to do. Then it went into the story about the girl that played like tennis and was a doctor and all of a sudden became like this robotic arm thing or something. I remember seeing that, reading that fucking thing, and I was looking at it, and I was in my fucking house, and I was like, "You fucking right," because I'd never read that fucking book before.
Mm.
Never heard of Robert Greene at the time I came with this theory. But here it is in black and white. Somebody else has the same fucking idea, the same thought I had. And this motherfucker is way richer than I am, way more famous than me. Definitely looking at this book way smarter because I'm not writing the fucking book. So I'm just like, this is fucking dope.
Mm.
Fuck yeah, I knew I was right. And yeah, so
Mm.
that's why I brought that up. It's just, I was fucking right.
Right.
Check for me. It's fucking right.
Absolutely. So transitioning into, I guess your journey as an entrepreneur, I guess what was like making products, was that something that you've always done as a child, or like growing up, was it something you're passionate about? Like what led you into like skincare, hair care, and whatnot?
So like I was never really like big into like making stuff. Well, I mean, I tinkered, I did stuff. Like I
Right.
destroyed more things than I was able to put back together. Like just take
Okay.
shit apart all the time. But I've always liked selling stuff. So
Mm.
I'm a better marketer and salesman than I am anything else, I guess, in that sense. I have a gift of gab. I don't know when to shut the fuck up. And apparently people think I'm funny. So it just all works together. I don't get it, but I'll take
It
it.
works
I
because
got
I
into
feel like not to cut you off,
no,
like
go for it, go for it.
some of the we'll get into it. We'll definitely get into it. Some of the marketing you do, I feel like, people are looking for people like you to hire you to teach them about marketing. And tells them what. And I'm pretty sure people have approached you about it, but it's yeah. We'll get into it later,
Well,
but I think it's genius.
I do have a marketing course that I have online
Okay,
now.
shameless
So
plug.
yeah, I mean, you brought it up. I wasn't going to say anything. You brought it up. Um, but yeah, dude, it's like because to me, like, and I'm gonna get back to the like how it started. But when it comes to marketing, like the thing for me, I've always thought was if no one knows your name, then who do they make the check out to? Like
Mm,
who the fuck am I writing this check to if I don't know who you are? Like the best companies in the world are the ones that people know of. If no one
that's real.
knows of you, then you're not getting any, like nothing's happening, right? Like you can make the best fucking product. If no one knows who you are, no one gives a shit, right?
Mm,
Like the best rappers aren't the most famous rappers. It's the rappers that got known, like
mm-hmm,
Little Pump, right?
mm-hmm.
The dude had like the shortest fucking song ever, blew up, became popular off of running his stuff. I don't know what he's doing now
Real.
with his life, but like they're better rappers, better lyricists, better performers, but Gucci
Right.
Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, you got it,
No, you're
right?
right.
Like it's not, and I don't think it's ever been about talent or ability. It's about marketability. So if
Mm,
they can't sell you, if you can't sell yourself to people, then nobody who's going to hear about it.
right.
You know. But back to the skincare thing. So I got into skin. I had skincare. I had an old girlfriend, and I used to go over her
Mm,
house, and she had like skin scrubs in the shower. So I used the skin scrubs a couple of times, and I was like, this stuff feels amazing. Because as a dude, you don't really do self care, pampering, and stuff like that. So yeah, I just started using it, fell in love with it, and then my skin started to like break out, which was weird because I don't. That doesn't happen, right? Like I used to play rugby, so like my face would be in
mm.
like just mud, dirt, like goose shit. Sometimes maybe in like backflow of a fucking septic tank. At least it smelled like it one time. We're like, yo, this smells like shit. So, but I never broke out. That was never my thing. Like I had acne when I was younger.
Mm.
It's because my balls had dropped. So I had acne when I was younger, but it wasn't anything severe. Um, my skin started drying. Like it was like, what the fuck? So I looked at the ingredients and I couldn't pronounce any of the stuff. It was like
Mm-hmm.
I could pronounce water, and the rest of it I didn't know what the fuck it was. So I started looking up and realized that all the stuff in there was just like a bunch of artificial chemicals and composites. And of course, it's cheaper that way. Like instead
Yeah.
of buying like you see 55 pounds of shea butter
Right. Right.
costs about $300, right? But you can get like 55 pounds of like fake shea butter for a lot cheaper. Or if you ever look at some of the, like, I don't have any on me, but if you ever look at some of the products, no. Have you ever used, there's like this, it's an orange, no, it's a yellow tube and it says cocoa butter on it. You can find it at the dollar store or CVS or any pharmacy or any just regular bodega. It's just always at the front. It's $1. It's this thick ass tube. It's like this tall, like this thick, and it just says cocoa butter on the side. You use it
Mm-hmm.
on your lips, right? I used to buy that shit all the time because if your lips are ugly, nobody's kissing it. That's first and foremost. So shit, that's going to be a next ad. Your lips are ugly. Yep, there you go.
Write that down.
Write that shit down. Hold on, give me 1 second. Lips are ugly. If your lips ugly. Uh-huh.
And he's actually writing it down.
I'm telling you, this is how like all I do is talk shit all day in my head to myself. To everybody, like, I talk shit to myself all the time. I'm always like cracking jokes to myself because I ain't shit. And then I come up with these random ass things and I just build upon it, and then boom, this is the ad I'm gonna
Mm.
run. And if y'all don't
Yep.
like it, fuck it. I'm gonna still spend money on it.
And try another one.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna run the shit back. Try again.
Yeah.
just that's how you do it. You dust yourself off and try again. But shit, what was I saying? Fuck.
Cocoa butter.
Cocoa butter, yeah. So the cocoa butter, right? Use it all the time. I looked at it recently, maybe like a year or so ago, with the ingredients, right? Because the what it says is cocoa butter, big and bold, right? Then all the other stuff. You look on the ingredients, cocoa butter is like the last ingredient.
Right.
Maybe like it's not a prominent ingredient.
The smallest amount.
I was like, these motherfuckers. So the thing has always been like what you see on the front of a package is never what you see on the back. Like you can buy some of the store-bought soaps and butters and all and lotion with shea butter, but if you look in the back, it has shea butter in it somewhere. But for me to say it has shea butter in it, I just got to drop just a drop. Just a drop, you know, I can just a little shake, has shea butter. Right. That's all it takes, you know. And yes, I was just like, this is bullshit. You know, my skin's breaking out, so I started making some. And shit, here I am, just trying to save the world still. Just like when I was a kid, I want to change the world. And I figured out the best way to do it is like, I don't have superpowers. I can't change the world, but I've always been a huge fan of Batman. And Batman is not a person. He's a symbol, right? To make people want to do better. If you remember The Dark Knight, I think it was The Dark Knight, where it was like in the beginning, it was like the three dudes that were dressed as Batman. They were like fighting against the Scarecrow or whatever.
Yep.
He was a symbol, right? Now those guys, he didn't really want those guys doing what they were doing, but he was a symbol for good, a symbol for greatness. It makes you want to do better with yourself. So I realized I never got the superpowers that I should have gotten through adolescence when my X gene kicked in from X-Men. I never got my mutation, so I didn't get my teleportation powers. So fuck. So what's the next best thing? Try to change people within, right? Because
I love it.
I'm not a hater, except to my friends, because they can do better. They all fucking suck. They can do better in life. You're fucking failing. I'm like the bad guy to them, right? I mean, they probably don't think it, but that's what I'm going for. You fucking suck. You're not making enough money. You're fucking dumb. Try harder. Do better, right? And use me as that negative motivation to tell me to shut the fuck up. I love it. Negative motivation is very powerful, in my opinion.
Talk about it. I wanted to dive into using hate as a motivating factor. So if you want to jump into it, go ahead.
Yeah, like hate is so my thing is like if everybody loves you, that means you're not doing something right? All the greatest people in history had a hater, right?
Right.
So I like to be the hater for folks because you need somebody to hate, right? Like steel sharpens steel. If everybody in your community is telling you you're great, I love it, you're fantastic, you're doing a good job, there's no fucking adversity. There's nothing for you to fight against, right? Think about Rocky, right? But I think it was Rocky 3 or Rocky 2, Mr. T. He became the champion, right? Fuck it. Everybody loves you. There's nothing to fight against. So, because like what the biggest thing that happens with like a fighter's coach, right? A fighter's coach, they said, I've read this numerous times, their worst dream or their worst, the worst moment of like a fighting coach's career is when his fighter becomes champion. Because you lose that hunger. There's no hunger there, you know? Like think about how, and this is even for me, like I'll see a bunch of like posts on Instagram and side note, anybody listening, when you like leave a comment on my Instagram, the shit gets lost. Like Instagram only shows me like the last 50 things that showed up. So if it's like 29 likes and then like other shit, like whatever comment you left a couple hours ago is probably gone. And I don't know what post it was on. I don't fucking know. So just email my sister. She's better.
Right.
But like if everyone's showing
shout out to
love,
Monique.
Shout out to fucking Monique. Like she is one of my dad's best, like the best things that came out of my dad's balls, right? Like I'm second best. She's the best fucking thing to come out of that man's nuts. I'm telling you right now. Because without her, she fucking loves me and I don't deserve it. She loves me and I don't fucking deserve any of that shit. I'm a piece of shit. But like shit, what was I saying? Hold on. I remember it was something
Rocky, Mr.
Rocky,
T.
fucking Rocky into me. So
championship.
I know when I'm on like my Instagram, right? You know, people always like say loving things. I try and get back to them as much as possible. Like, thank you so much, thank you. But when somebody says something negative, you're like, yo, fuck you. Right? So it goes against the grain. So if everybody's showing you love, as soon as somebody says something negative, you're like, oh, fuck you, and vice versa. Everyone's always showing you hate, and someone says, I love you, you're like, thank you. So I feel like, at least with my friends or folks that I know, I feel like you get complacent, right? People are afraid to tell you fucking up. The shit don't look right. Like I've had friends of mine, like my friend Alexis, she'll send me one of her videos that she edits for her massage therapy. I'm like, yo, this video fucking sucks. How'd you, what the fuck is this color grade? This editing looks some shit. She's like, I spent like 4 hours on this. You try again. Shit looks terrible.
Yeah.
Shit ain't look good. That's it. The shit ain't look good. So you got to be like honest with people, and being honest hurts. But what it can do is cause them to say, fuck this. Fuck Mike. I'm gonna make this shit 30 times better.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Because I think about all those stories where like men and women, right? They end up like in a relationship, they get dumped, and they go off and become like these fucking super sexy people. And all I think every time I hear that shit is like, so when you were in this relationship for like 2-3 years, you were a piece of shit and you knew it. Like you got fat as shit. You knew you was fat as shit, and you was okay with it for like 2-3 years. But as soon as you break up, you're like, I'm about to prove them wrong and get super sexy. So you weren't putting your best foot forward the entire relationship. You weren't doing your best. You were not presenting the best you to this person. And I feel like that's important because you need like negativity. So that was that negative spark to become their best selves. So I'm like, fuck it. I have no problem being the bad guy.
Yeah.
You fucking dumb. You should have done this. I told you that shit was dumb. So you want to fucking listen? No problem. Because what's going to happen is going to motivate you to say, you know what? Fuck Mike. He's an asshole. I'm going to do better. And then there you go. Because like nothing really motivates you more than somebody hating on you.
Like, yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, obviously your way is it's more cut and dry, obviously, but
straight to the point. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So with me growing up, I mean, I've always been into sports, always played sports, and what motivates you more is than somebody telling you that you can't beat them, or you can't do this, you can't do that. For me, makes me want to do it even more. Even in business, like you can't hit this milestone, you can't reach that top of the mountain. I'm gonna try even harder to prove you wrong, just
like,
because.
Shit.
Yeah.
Because when people are being nice to you and loving, it's fantastic, and you need that. But there needs to be a balance, right? Like yin and yang, right? If everyone's giving you love, there needs to be some drop of hate, right? Because if there's nothing there, if no one's showing you negativity, then what the fuck is going on? Somebody has to dislike you. Because again, every great person in history had a fucking hater, at least one fucking hater. If you don't have a hater, that means you ain't doing it right. If everybody loves you, then that doesn't make any sense. You tell me there's nobody anywhere that thinks you're a piece of shit. Nobody. Like nobody.
Yeah, that's funny because I always tell the story in the beginning, episode 1, 2, 3 of my podcast. One of my biggest supporters is my mom. So my mom will listen to it, and I'd be like, yo, how was it? How do you like it? And, oh, it was great. It was amazing. I'm like, no, tell me the truth. Like, how was it? It was great. It was amazing. I sent it to my wife. My wife listens to it, and she's like,
boy, fix this shit. Fix this shit. Run that shit back, boy.
She's like, don't even release this. Go ahead and delete it. I'm like, damn, but it's true. Shout out to my mom. I mean, she's always going to be the loving type and whatnot, but you definitely need that balance of people that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear.
Because what people have to say can be clouded by their love for you. So when your mom was listening to it, she didn't hear anything wrong with it. She's like, look at my baby.
Proud. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Right. That shit blocks everything out. Your wife is like, okay.
You making me look goofy.
You make me look dumb as shit, boy. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Right. Because, they always say nobody's going to love you. No woman's going to love you like your mother will. And I firmly believe that. Firmly. Because your mother's love is unfucking conditional. You got to really fuck up for her not to love you.
Right.
Like, how many times you seen dude in the courtroom murder 16 people and the mom's like, I love him. I love my son. Dad's like, fuck that kid. But mom, because that's your heart. Like, that's her heart. Like, my wife carried 2 children for 9 months that were listening to her heartbeat. I told her when our
Mm-hmm.
first son, when she was pregnant with our son Ball Smith, the first one, I was like, my connection with him would never be the same as you. Like, I don't even know this kid, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, as for right now, I'm not a dad. Like, you're a mom because you got this baby. You were a mom 9 months before I was a dad. So,
That's
like,
a
my
fact.
connection, like a dad's connection to the kid, at least in my opinion, shows up when they see the kid. They're like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, I don't really know there's a baby there. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I don't know. That could be gas that I'm hearing. You just don't know.
That's crazy to
So
think
it's
about.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's love is great, but love can be cloudy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's something where hate, too much hate can be cloudy, and you don't see that person's good side. But you got to have a bit. It doesn't have to be like not even like a balance, Like you just need like a little bit of hater. You need somebody to hate you, right? You remember
Mm-hmm.
Chappelle's show, the Professional Haters
Mm-hmm.
Club, or the hate. You need a
Yeah. Yeah.
hater.
Yeah.
Even Cat Williams said it. He's like, if you don't have anybody to hate on me. Because
Mm-hmm.
if no one is motivating you from that negative side, you're going to get lost because everybody's telling you
Mm-hmm.
how good you are.
Yeah.
Like,
It's funny. Go ahead.
no, you ever watch UFC?
Yes. Go ahead.
Ronda fucking Rousey, right? Ronda
Yeah.
Rousey, okay? Everybody was hyping her up because she was undefeated. They were saying her stand up was so good. Her boxing skills are great. They were saying at one point she could beat Floyd Mayweather. She started believing her own hype and got fucking knocked out
And
twice,
annihilated. Yep.
annihilated. Now she's in, it was WWE, right? And that's,
WWE. Yep.
that's totally fine. That's fine. But
Yeah.
she never lost. I mean, she lost like
Mm-hmm.
in the Olympics, but she never lost like this. It's like, yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
is a big loss. Twice. Same thing. That shit hurts the pride. But you got so many people hyping her up, saying how good she was, how great her
Mm-hmm.
boxing was, how great her skills were. Nobody was really saying, nah, you can't fight. What the fuck is you
Yeah.
doing?
Did you watch the man? I forgot the name of it, but the Michael Jordan Chicago Bull documentary series that came out last year around this time. It was
I've
like 10
never been
episodes.
into basketball, so I did not watch any MJ stuff.
Okay, well I'm going to tell you
Fill
this.
me in.
So
Fill me in.
uh, for Michael Jordan to stay so he won 6 championships in the
Okay.
90s. So he went to the finals 6 times and won it 6 out of 6 times. Never lost in the finals.
That's fucking
So
fantastic.
yeah, so in the 90s, where basketball, a lot of talent and whatnot. So, anyways, one of the ways that he needed to stay motivated is he would literally make up stories about other people hating on him.
Mm.
So he's like literally mental games like picture me, Chris, making up stories about Mike. Oh, yeah, I heard Mike talking about me the other day saying that my podcast wasn't going to, grow. Making up stories that never happened, but he would do that to keep himself motivated because once you get that first championship, like you said, a lot of people become satisfied. He won 6 of them.
You got to stay hungry. You
Yep.
got to stay hungry. If you don't stay hungry, then it's like I'm never fucking satisfied. And
Yeah.
I'm not. Like, I look at my sales from one day, I'm like, all right, cool. Then the next day, I'm like, all right, I
Mm-hmm.
beat that one. Okay, I beat it today. The next day, every day, I'm just like, I can do better. I can do better. I can fucking do
Yeah.
better. If you get complacent, like I've already gotten complacent with my athletic abilities. I'm getting fat. I'm a
Mm.
dad. I'm like, I'm good. I'm getting fat because I'm just doing dad shit. I don't want that shit
Dad
to happen in my
bod.
bank account. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one thing transitioning into your brand and because we're already man, we haven't even talked about your brand yet. uh,
That's the least
one thing
important, man.
right. But what I do want to bring out is one thing I love about you and your brand is your ability to be authentic. You have no problem with being who you are. As you guys listening in this podcast, he does not care about what you guys think about him. And I think it's really refreshing, with so much noise on social media, so many people trying to be something they're not. So many people trying to be something you're not so they can sell you something, sell you a dream. It's
Oh
just a
yeah.
crazy cycle out there. I'm saying, it's really refreshing to see someone like you, to be true to who you are, to be comfortable in your skin. That's something that I strive to do every single day. It's just be me. Whether I come to the meeting with the hat backwards, wearing a black hoodie or whatever, this is me. So I love that about you and what you represent.
Man, I appreciate that. But I can tell you the only reason I'm like this is because I can fight. If I couldn't fucking fight, I probably wouldn't be like this. Because the thing is, like, I say shit. I say what I need to say, and I would say, like, so both my parents can say and say what needs to be said.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is a lot less tactful in her delivery of these messages. Right? She just says what she has to say, and be like, "Fuck it, that's me." I think it's a huge character flaw. But she's like 60, so she's like, "That's me." Fuck it. So she's okay with it. And I try to correct her on, like, "Mom, that's not right." She's like, "Nah, fuck it. It needs to be said." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I'm not saying it didn't need to be said. It's just the way you said it. She always told me, which is the funniest thing. She always told me, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right?
True.
But my father does the same shit. But man, that man can tell you shit the right way. Like, he always told me as a kid, he can tell somebody to go to hell in such a great way that they'll ask for directions, right? And I've seen that shit numerous times. He tells somebody to go to hell, and they're just like, "Okay, great, thank you, appreciate it." You know, because he worked in the customer service industry.
Yeah. That's a gift.
It's definitely a gift. One I'm not as good at, but I can fight, so I kind of just duck and dodge when I need to. But the cool thing about it is, like, I'm not trying to be somebody else, you know, like,
love that.
And that's actually, so one of the things I was talking about in my course is, like, there's 3 styles, the way I see it, where it comes to, like, marketing. There's a collective style, fictitious style, and then it's your, shit. I made it up. I forgot what it's fucking called. It's your true self. I can't remember what it's called. But it's like the actual you. And that's the thing I use the most here. It's just me. Like, I wake up and there's no, like, character I'm putting on or anything. Like, it's just me. Like, I'm not trying to be anybody else but me. So I'll post videos of me just waking up, eye crust and everything. I'm not trying to be anybody other than me, because I ain't shit. You like it or you don't. And somehow people like it. I don't fucking get it, but it works. I'm not questioning it. I'm just going to keep riding this wave where I got my time. It's just, because to me, authenticity, like you said, it's just so rare these days. Like, it's not hard for somebody to finesse numbers on the internet. Like, I see these marketing fucking courses and these, like, we can grow your business 13 times and shit. I'm like, I also can Photoshop. Okay. You can hit inspect F12, change the number on your Shopify store to say 13.3 million. You can change all the fucking numbers and hit enter. And it shows us on the website. You just don't hit refresh. Don't hit F5. I'm going to go back to the regular shit. But as of right now, go into the screenshot. We made this much. I know how to lie to people. It's fucking easy. But I'm like, that's not where it's at. Like, that shit's going to come back and bite you. There are dudes that are selling fucking, like, real estate courses and shit.
Making more money off the courses than off of actual real estate.
Yes. Like, they're making bank. Like, they teach you how to do these short sales and quick flips or whatever it is, and they charge you like $25 a month, $50 a month for these courses. That's how they're making their money. Like, there's a dude, Parker Wallbeck. You ever heard of him? Parker Wallbeck is this dude somewhere in the Midwest. He's a videographer. Right? He started out doing videos, like, in college, and then he ended up with this other dude that did, like, YouTube videos, and then he was, like, shadowing him, became, like, his assistant, and then he started doing his own stuff, wedding videos, yada yada yada. But he has a course online called 4-Time Filmmaker. Okay. So when I first got into videography, that's where I first started seeing the ads on YouTube. He spends a lot of money on ads and Facebook ads and stuff like that. Good fucking job. And I signed up for, like, the free webinar, but I was like, okay, cool. But there was nothing in there that I felt I needed to get. Right. So I was like, okay, cool. Because I'm over trial and error kind of person anyway. So I fucked up a lot. I'm still fucking up, but I like it. It helps. But he sells this course and it's like 400 videos. There's a lot of shit in there, a lot of value in this course. I think it was like $400. No, it's like $800, but it was like half off of $400, and then sometimes on sale for like 150. All these crazy numbers and stuff.
Right.
But he did a YouTube video, breaking down how he makes his money, right? Which I thought was a crazy video for him to make, but I was like, fuck it, I'm watching the shit quick before he deletes it, because it was only sent out to people that were, like, in his list, his email list or whatever. And I say all this to say, the man made like $3 million off his course alone 1 year. He was like, I don't really do videos. Like, I don't really do wedding videos anymore. Like, unless it's a buddy or something. He's like, I don't really do client videos unless it's a lot of money. Like if Apple reaches out or Android, we can talk a couple $1,000, 30, 40,000, stuff like that. But he's like, he doesn't do any shit he used to do because he's teaching a course on how to do what he used to do and bringing in millions off of this course. So the money is not really in doing, it's in teaching. And the crazy thing about courses is like 70% of the people, I think it was, don't finish the fucking course that they buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I understand. I get it. I've bought numerous books and didn't finish it because I was like, I'm done with this book, or just switch interest to something else. Just like it's fucking crazy. It's nuts. But
and how do you feel about? I know you have a course yourself, but how do you feel about people doing that? Making more money teaching. How do you feel about everything that you're speaking about?
Shit, right, let me get to that point. I fucking love it.
Okay. Okay.
But no, I think it's fantastic. Like if you can make money teaching, that's fantastic. But my thing is, if you're teaching shit that you don't do, that you don't know about, then you're gonna get fucked up. And it may not be like a physical thing or about a government. Something's gonna come back and bite that ass. Right? Like Homer's gonna come back and get that ass some way, somehow. The universe is gonna level out the scale. The universe is always gonna balance out that fucking scale. So you're gonna pay somehow. It may be shit you won't pay. Your kids gonna pay. Somebody's gonna fucking pay for you being a piece of shit. End of story. Wow. Because I'm like I said, like they finesse these numbers. Like I had somebody email me today and was like, "Yeah, we made 16 times on this ad. We spent 220 and we made back 1.6 million." And I'm like, fucking how? Like on a Facebook ad? Like what the fuck was y'all selling? I have a lot of questions, but I didn't give a shit. Like it just doesn't seem realistic to me. Right. Knowing I've been doing Facebook ads for years, I'm like, at some point in time, I can get 16 times return on the ad, right? But it's like one section of an ad because one person saw it or 3 people bought it or saw it and they bought like $3 worth of stuff and I only spent $5. So when the first went out, these people bought this shit quick. 16 times return, but as time goes on, it levels out to more, 4 times return, 5, a regular fucking number because time goes on. But like, why the fuck are you lying to me? And I feel like a lot of people get caught in these lies, and it's so easy to lie. It's so easy to just make shit look good, sell it to people. You're selling dreams to people because everybody wants to get rich quick. See, how do I make this money? They don't want to work for it. Like, I don't believe in grinding too much because when you grind, eventually the shit's going to go away. Like when you grind metal and steel and shit, like eventually it's going to give away. So you got to know when to stop. So when it comes to like making more money off the course, I believe the Parker Wahlbeck dude, he realized, fuck, I'm tired of going out, going to locations, grabbing the cameras and shit every fucking weekend, record a wedding, Fuck. He did the grinding. He has the skills to a nice, sharp, fine point. Any more grinder will start to dull it down.
Right.
So you got to know when you reach that point where you're just like, you know what? I don't feel like doing this shit no more. Because hustling gets old.
It does.
Right? Like, I don't know a lot of old hustlers.
No.
Like, you either did in jail or you just started doing regular shit. Doing regular people shit. Because eventually it just gets old. It's always a hustle bustle. So if you can start making residual money, all some shit you used to do, like the dude Billy Jean is marketing. That dude probably, his courses, I'm sure, made him millions of dollars. And like he has videos from fucking like 480p. So I know them shit's old. Right? Like Caesar Milan, he has a course. My wife's a dog psychologist. So I bought his course for her to surprise her with. And like a lot of the videos in the course were videos when this motherfucker was weighing like fucking, like when Oprah was like young. Right? He had like the big collars and shit. This shit was like in fucking 480p, 360p. Wow. This shit's old.
Wow.
He just took the same video, repurposed it, put it on the course.
Repurposed it, yep.
My wife already had these videos because she bought all the DVDs for him, off of Amazon. So a lot of the shit she was already looking at was stuff this man recorded before he even had kids. His kids are like 20 and shit now. So I was like, if you can make money from shit you used to do, it's great. Why not? Like, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish.
I was going to say, one of your previous interviews, podcasts that you were on, you mentioned that you don't have a job.
No.
At all. You don't have a job. And for many people are like, that doesn't seem normal. So a lot of my listeners are trying to transition from, having a job to entrepreneurship. And for others, a lot of people would love to live that way, to not have a job, to be doing something they feel like it doesn't seem like work.
Yeah.
What are some suggestions that you would make to those people out there that want to do the same, that at least want to start moving in that same direction?
You gotta fucking love it. Like whatever you're gonna do, like you can't be one of those people that give up quick, right? Like
Mm,
I started this business with like maybe like $400, maybe something like that.
yeah.
Give take something like that, and shit fucked up, right? Lost money, didn't make money for years, right? Like when I say make money, it was like in the positives really for years. Like lost a couple grand here and there, but
Mm,
you got to keep doing what you're doing. Like you're going to have an L, you're going to have a fall, but if you're the type that gives up after a fall, you're not going to go nowhere. You're just not. And this is like a hard reality for a lot of people, but not everybody's meant to be a business owner. Like it's glamorized. It sounds fantastic, especially with social media. Everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm running a business." It sounds fucking great. It ain't fucking sweet. Okay, it's not. It's not as sweet as it seems. At least for me. And I say that because I wake up every day, right, like 9 o'clock, check emails and shit, text messages from my sister. I'm just checking shit. I'm doing shit. I'm late to the party. I go to sleep late and wake up late because that's what the fuck I like to do. Throughout my whole day, I'm checking emails, doing shit. Like if I'm in the house, like not actually mixing products or editing videos or anything of that nature, I'm sitting there with the kids and I'm figuring out some shit to do, thinking of some shit to do for the business. Every thought I have of the day is something business related. Well, not every. I think about the kids just as the kids. And I'm the best way is I'm not always in the moment. Right? I'm not a zen where I'm just like open, or is it mindfulness? I'm not just in the moment thinking like, wow, that's great. It happens. I'll see my kids be like, yo, this kid is fucking gorgeous. I'll see my wife like, damn, that ass fat. Damn. Nice. Right? I just be like, nice. But usually I'm just thinking like, what can I do to do this better every fucking moment of the day? Right? Like I'm always, my mind is always moving forward, thinking about something, even moving back to figure out what I fucked up on. Right? You ever seen Afro Samurai?
I've heard of it.
You need to fucking watch it. Afro Samurai is fantastic, first of all. But one of the things he says in there is voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. He says, my only aim is to move forward. That's it. My only aim is to move forward. I can't do shit with the past and the present, just left. Right? What can I got to move forward. So I'm always trying to figure out what I can do. And it takes time. And once you figure out like how you can make money, more money than doing like, or equal or more money of the shit you do at work, it's easy. Like once you figure it out, once you figure out what you're passionate about, what you can do that makes money, you'll be in a much better place. Like, let's just talk about OnlyFans for a second. How many of these people, like men and women, have sent nudes to people for fucking free?
Now they're getting paid.
Getting fucking paid for it. So some shit you would already do for free, you're getting paid for. What a time to be alive. Right. And I think like stuff like this, like content creation, like podcasts, anything that people are willing to put money towards, hard-earned cash money or, digital money, because I don't really have cash anywhere, but digital money towards, you can make a business out of, So if you have a job, if you're working a 9 to 5, and if you fucking love it, right, you may fucking love it. And if you really love it, then why are you trying to leave it to go to a business? But if you're doing a job where you don't fucking want to do it, you're only doing it to make money, you're miserable as shit all the time, right? Even if the money's good, you're just miserable because you're just like, this isn't what I want to do with my life. Like I think about it all the time. My dad always told me, find something you would do for free and get paid for it, right? So it's like, if you can figure out what you would do for free and figure out how to get paid for it, you'd be good to go. So
you're winning.
Yeah, that's just fucking winning. Because then if you, let's say you have a job, and you're making like $3,000 a month, right? And your rent is like $1,500, and you get $1,500 to spend for other stuff, bills, shit like that, right? If every month you break dead even on that with that $3,000, then you just worked this whole month to just break fucking even. No benefits, just you broke even. But if you can do something you love, right? Never have to really leave the house if you don't want to. Don't have to drive your car. So like you're in fucking California. Is traffic a bitch out there?
Let me tell you, crazy.
I haven't driven in traffic in fucking a while.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what the fuck
D-
is traffic? I don't know what the fuck that
DC
is.
traffic is DC traffic is different out there. It's crazy out
No,
there.
that shit, DC traffic is a bitch. And I say that because, like, DC's small, but
Yep.
everybody that works in DC don't live in
Comes in.
DC.
They don't
So
live
they
in
coming
there.
from Virginia and Maryland at the same fucking time and leaving at the same time. But I haven't driven in traffic in forever. Why? Because I don't leave the house if I don't fucking want to. I leave the house to go to the grocery store to pick up the groceries because I ordered the shits online. I'm not
And
even
go to
going to a fucking
Target.
grocery store. Like, I'm going to Target to buy Beyblades because I have a Beyblade toy channel. But it's like, if you can sit down and really think about it, like most people have a car to get to work, to pay for the fucking car. The fuck? Like, I knew people that had these really nice fucking cars, Maseratis and shit, and they just drove them to work. And then were at work all day, 8 hours, 9 hours, then drove them the fuck home. Why do you need such a nice car to drive to and from work? You don't go nowhere with it. What the fuck's the point? Like, you're in traffic most of the time. You got a fast car and it's driving fucking 10 miles an hour. Like, if you can find some, if you make 3,000 a month and your bills are 3,000 a month, then you're just, there's no point. But if you can get like something that you would love to do for free, something at home, right? So let's say you just make YouTube videos every fucking day, and you could make $3,000 a month on YouTube videos, you would be making a lot more money than going to work every day. Because now you're not spending money on gas, less oil changes, you know what I'm saying? Less eating out or whatever, random places and shit like that. You may drop your fucking expenses by almost $1,000. So now instead of making 3,000 and coming dead even, you made 3,000 and you kept 1,000. So it's like,
and I think you'd be. I would assume that you'd be more happier doing
fuck
that.
yeah, because you don't have to listen to nobody else. Like, there's no superiors, nobody thinks they're smarter than you. You're just living your fucking life, doing what you would do. Like, that's why OnlyFans people are winning right now. You were already fucking. Now you're getting paid for it. You were already doing that. You were doing it for free.
I heard that. Yeah.
Some people were paying for it. You were paying to do it. Now you getting paid. You fucking winning. Like, you're winning. Like, what the fuck? And you don't have to leave the house if you don't want to. You get all this money for doing shit that you would already do for free. You know, and it's just like a winning thing. Now, of course, in the long run, like, a lot of these kids are going to see their grandmas on the hub. Probably. I feel bad for a lot of these kids in that sense. Like, we all went to your grandma. That's going to be tough. You know, your granddad, look at his meat right there. It's going to be tough. He broke the record for OnlyFans. Your granddad had the song. It's going to be tough. But,
oh man,
you know, it's life is short. You know, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, like life, you're going to be dead a lot longer than you're alive. And as far as I know, I only get one life. And they say, you know, you only live once, right? Or whatever. That's not true. Like, you live every day. You only die once. And I think I got that from The Office. Dwight said that shit. So it's like,
no, that's fire.
It's true. Like, every day is your chance to live. So it's like, do you want to spend your time being unhappy? Like, I wake up every day, I'm just like, all right, let's do this, you know? Kids are crying. My wife gets up like 4 hours before I do and shit. She loves waking up early. But I go to sleep at like midnight, 1 o'clock, and 8 hours later, my body gets up. That's it. 8 hours later. There's no shortage of that unless it's an emergency. Like, my body does not do anything less than 8 hours. That's fucking fantastic. I wake up, I'm like, all right. Oh my God. It takes me like an hour to be like, all right, do I really, fuck, what am I doing today? You know? But I got that time. I can do that. Who the fuck gonna tell me to do something differently? You know? Yeah, so to answer your question, my advice would be find something you would do for free and get paid for it. And don't fucking give up. Because like, when you give up, that's when the shit's done. Like, I had a buddy of mine that wanted to do podcasts like 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, right? And he was like, oh, I need podcasting equipment. And I was like, no, the fuck you don't. Get a microphone like off Amazon for like $20 and start. You know, just fucking start. And he didn't start. So now, you know, the folks like, because he wanted to talk about stuff like, it was a bunch of black shit. He's real militant. This is a bunch of black shit. That should be popping by now. After
Yeah.
5 years of just talking black, he would have been popping. Probably a million
Yeah.
followers on the gram, YouTube channel popping. You know, and I told him about Anchor. You ever heard of Anchor?
Yep.
Yeah, so I was doing podcasts on Anchor back then when he mentioned it to me, because all I would do was take my YouTube videos, extract the audio, and put it up on Anchor.
Right.
The lazy shit. But even with that one, I made like $5 a month, you know, because you can put like the little plug of, hey, I'm recording this on Anchor. I never tried, but I made $5 and I never tried. I'm like, I made more money doing the thing he wanted to do than he did. So all he do was just do it. Like, right, he would be popping right now. Right, he would have all the guests. He'll be that guy in that realm. And I bring up to him once in a while. I was like, yeah, you fucking missed that one. I asked him this recently, like, yo, you got your podcast in space? He's like, oh no, I'm still working on it. The fuck fool? Like, what the fuck fool? Like, I've gone through like numerous microphones.
Tell him to hit me up. I'll help him.
Nah, I'm not even gonna waste the breath. Like, he don't want it. If you don't want something bad enough that you can't do it, start from like the ground, it's not gonna happen. You know, some people want stuff that's already established and they don't want to, you know. Like, I don't want to build a car. Fuck that. I want to buy a car, you know, and that's how a lot of people are with just things in life. Like, they don't want to do the hard stuff for a business. They want the glamour and the fame. Yeah. That shit ain't sweet. But
they don't want to go through the process.
Yeah. But then it gets fucked up when you got people like Lil Pump. You know, he was, he started rapping like a year or some shit like that. And he was rapping for like a year and became like super $1 million famous. So you got people that are just like, well, it can be done. Like the chick, that Catch Me Outside. How about that girl?
Yeah.
She made $1 million on OnlyFans in 6 hours.
Crazy.
So what you're just telling me is that everybody goes to work a job is dumb as shit? Yeah, probably. That's it. Like, she literally just showed her, like, now she's 18. So she showed her 18-year-old body, I'm guessing, and she made $1 million in 6 hours. But you have people out here hustling and bustling every day, waking up for a job they hate, and they barely making a couple grand, you know, barely able to save any money for themselves. So, like, working is working ain't it, you know, but somebody has to work, because somebody has to do all the other stuff. Like,
well, I say, you know, I agree with you. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur, because we do need people we need employees and whatnot. But what I will say is everybody can build some type of wealth or have an additional stream of income while working.
Yeah,
whether
definitely.
it's, you know, you're working a 9 to 5 and, you know, having your YouTube channel at night or whatever the case may have you, you can definitely do that, you know, and, you know, hopefully you can transition to doing that full time.
Yeah, like there's no shortage of money out there, you know. Like, I have no problem being in front of the camera, but some people are not like that. You don't have to. I watch numerous YouTube channels and I don't know what the fuck the person looks like. It's just their voice and all the graphics. Like, you just have to figure it out. And it's like, there's so many ways to make money. Like, when I was younger, people were saying you couldn't make money playing video games. Shit. The what? Like, the what? No. And there's just so much money out there. Like, I think I won money from like a Street Fighter tournament or something, or a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. And somebody was like, you can make money from this? I was like, anything people are interested in, you can make money from. Is that simple?
That's a fact.
There's a competition in Japan where it's like, who can cut the thinnest slice of wood? It's a fucking competition. Who can cut the thinnest slice of wood? If people are interested, there's going to be money in it. That's always the case. You know, just an advertisement, like put the fucking thing on your back. I saw a UFC fight, and the dude, this is like one of the lower end, not UFC fight, but an MMA fight, a lower end fight. And the dude had like the fucking company like henna tattoo on his back.
Yeah.
You can always make money. You can make money.
For sure.
There's always money to be made. And it's like, you just got to figure out what you want. But again, some people aren't into business. Like, I have a friend of mine, and she has no desire to do anything business related, run a business. She just likes going to work. She likes waking up, going to work, doing her job, going home, and it's cash money every 2 weeks. Ain't knocking it. That shit's really reliable. I ain't got nothing against it. That shit's fantastic. Like, I wake up every day like, shit, did I fuck up? Did I say the wrong shit to somebody and they cancel me? I'm always looking at did I say the wrong shit yesterday? Yeah, I did. I go to sleep thinking like, shit, that's going to fuck me up in the morning. I wake up in the morning. Nah, it ain't fucked me up. Nice. Sometimes the shit happens. But yeah, like it's being an entrepreneur is unreliable in that sense, you know, but then of course you set things up, take money, set it aside for this. You have to build your own pillars and structures, but
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that shit
Yep.
shaking.
How are you on time, man? I know you have to make dinner for wifey. We're about an hour in. I'm just making sure you good. You
I
let
can
me
get
know.
you. I can give you about five, 6 more minutes. How many more questions
Okay,
you got?
okay, okay. So just I need a rundown of net or gold, and I have two more questions after that. They're brief questions. So quick
All right.
rundown. You know.
Let me shit. Quick rundown is I make body care products. I make body care and body care accessories,
Mhm,
and that's it. Ain't shit fancy about it.
mhm.
I just make shit to make you look less ugly than you normally are, and hopefully you looking less ugly will make you say, okay, I look good today. And because when you look better, you do better. So,
Mm.
like, I'm not a hater in that sense. I think I was going to say this in the beginning. Like, I'm not a hater because I wake up every day and I'm just like, I look fucking great. Good job, Mike. Good fucking job, my guy. So I'm not trying to bring anybody down because I feel less of myself. And I feel like when you feel less of yourself, that's when you got to bring people down. And I don't feel that
Mm.
way. Like, shit, this is me. So
Mm.
that's it. I just be talking shit to people about how they ashy and they just like it. I don't understand it. It's very verbally abusive. I don't understand why it works.
I love it.
It's a cycle of violence essentially with my customers. Me telling them use some shit and they're like, you right, let me buy some stuff.
Mhm.
It's a cycle of violence, but
It
it
works.
works. It fucking
Yeah,
works. Yeah.
absolutely. Okay. Real quick, if you could make one change to the world to improve it, what change would you make?
Oh, dude, that's so easy. I would make people love themselves. That's it. It's that
Mm.
simple. It's that easy. Like, because if you love yourself, you're not spreading hate. What the fuck is there to hate on? Because I think like if you think about a dude shows up in the hood with a real nice car, right? Why the fuck did he just get robbed for his car? Because the people that saw his car wanted his car because they ain't have his car. They
Mm.
didn't love themselves enough that it just I want his
That
shit.
part.
That's the way I see it. Like, and I could be wrong in a sense, but I don't fucking think so. Right?
Mm.
Like people bring down other people because they feel bad about themselves. Oh man, she thinks she good because her ass fat. I mean, it is. It's bigger than mine. And then you're like, shit, well, her butt bigger than my butt. So we need to bring her down to our level because she thinks she all that. Like how many times you
Yeah.
heard that shit? Oh yeah, she thinks she all that. Or
Yeah.
dude's rebuttal is, oh, he think he all that in a bowl of chips. Oh, he think he cool. He is cool. You
Mm.
just hating on him. You just feel
Right.
insecure. You feel jealous. You know, when you feel insecure about something like what somebody else is doing, it makes you feel lesser than yourself. So you just like, well, shit, I got to do better. You know, and well, okay, doing better is hard. So what's the easier way? Tell him he ain't shit, right? Like I had a girl the other day, and she was like, she sent me a picture of like some like Instagram model. I was like, does this look like a real person? Like does her body look real? I was like, fuck man, I don't fake as shit. She was like, oh, I was thinking about getting my boobs done. And I was like, that's weird. Like, for
Mm.
what? Like, what the fuck for? Like, what did you try to get your titties done for? Like,
Mm.
what? Oh, well, you know, it'll look better. To who? To who? Well,
Mm.
you know, to everybody. Like, who the fuck? Why do you care? Like, who gives a
Yeah.
shit?
They don't. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's my thing. Like when you are okay with you, accept you, and love you, you don't have any of those insecurities. Like everybody has
Mm.
insecurities, and you're always going to have them. So it's like, if you can get rid of them,
Mm.
then what the fuck y'all mad about? Like there's no reason to spread hate. If everybody's
That's
happy,
interesting.
then why you upset? You know. And so I think that would be the quickest way to change the world is by getting everybody just to accept themselves. Because then there's no fight for greed, fight for like there's none of that shit. It's just hey, nice car, nice, fantastic, thank you, appreciate it. Oh, nice, I like that car.
Yeah.
Good job. It's genuine. Like none of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, nice car. Like it's none of that shit. It's just nice fucking car. And it
Yeah.
was, you know, how did you get it? Oh, I did this. Man, I haven't done that. I don't work that hard, but now I know if I want it, that's what I got to do. None of that like no hating shit. It's
Right.
just yeah. That's what I think would really make a difference in the world. Is yeah, I think that would be it. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, I
Okay.
mean, honestly, I can talk to you for like a couple more hours. I know you got to go make dinner for wifey and whatnot. I actually had a bunch more questions, but it's all good. I really enjoyed this conversation, man. I love that we barely touched on your brand. I'm definitely gonna link it in the description of this podcast, so people
Dude,
do
isn't
need
it?
to check out your product and your brand and whatnot.
For me, it's like the brand is cool. I do a lot of work for branding and marketing, but that shit doesn't matter, right?
Mm.
Like at the end of the day, like my brand is just it doesn't matter in that sense. What really matters is whether or not you're able to resonate with the person behind the brand. You know,
Mm.
like why? Because if you know like why a person moves, you know, you ever heard the books "Start with Why" by Simon Sinek?
Yes, yes, I do. I
I'm
don't
a
have
huge
it right here, but I've heard of it.
I'm a huge fan of that just because it's important to know why. Like everybody's supporting things and doing things just to be doing it, but like why the fuck are you doing this? So it's like when I do interviews and stuff, like I don't plug the business. I don't plug shit. Like I would have
Mm.
never mentioned the marketing course if you ain't bring up fucking courses. I was like, all right, well, here we go. That's not like my thing. Is like, and when I say I think I'm a good salesman, it's not because I'm trying to push a sale, you know, and
Mm.
I'm not pushy. I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm just being honest with you. And my honesty is what transitions to, okay, well, look, I like this
Mm.
guy. Let me buy something from him. And that's the only reason I think this works, right? My whole thing is authenticity. I think the authenticity of me just being me, it gives you two options: support or don't. That's it.
Yep.
Support or fucking don't. There's
Mm.
no, well, just, do you like them? Yeah. All right, well, shut and buy some shit from them. Like I see that on my ads all the time. Like I'm just buying this product just off the ad strength alone. I don't fucking need the shit, but I'm buying it because of the ads
Mm.
alone. That's it. You fucking like it. So
Mm.
with this, is just we talking about shit that nobody ever asked me. We talk about shit that you won't really hear me
Dope.
talking about because
Dope.
I be having shit to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
one last thing, man. I always have my guests leave one last gem for the audience. It can be anything. It can be literally anything. You know what I'm saying? How people can uh, not be so ashy. It can be whatever it is, man. Like one last gem, and we'll end it on that note.
One last gem. Fuck. One last gem. All right. Well, give me a second
It
here.
can be anything, man.
What's a good thing? Like I gotta finish strong too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's a good one? Um,
And while you think about that, I'm gonna link all your websites, your Instagram. I'm gonna link it in the description of this podcast. If you guys listen to this point, feel free to share this podcast episode with one other person out there that needs to hear this episode. You heard the conversation, super rich conversation, a lot of things that business owners don't jump into and don't talk about. You know, we spoke about in this episode. So feel free to share it with one other person out there. Leave a rating and review for this podcast as well. It's going to help grow this podcast and allow it to reach more people. Mike, the floor is yours.
okay, I got it. Um, it's important to be able to separate like business from personal,
Mm.
right? Like I don't believe you should go into business with a friend, but I believe you should go into business with a friend you made through business. And I say that because I've had business and done business with friends and it shit just didn't work. And I believe that happened because people that know you knew you, but they don't know you now, right?
Mm.
So if you fucked up numerous times in the past, they remember that shit, right? Like they remember when you peed your pants in third grade. They remember that shit. So you coming out now with this new great idea or this whole business thing or whatever it may be, they don't see you for you, right? Just like the conversation we had when we were talking about your mom and your wife. Your mom saw
Yeah.
you and she knew you as her
Right.
baby boy. So baby boy don't do no wrong. Your wife met you later on in life when you had already fucked up.
That
So
part.
she knows you as the fuck up and beyond, essentially. But your mom remembers you as that pure baby boy. So it's important to realize that if you go into business with friends, it may not work because they knew you when you were a fuck up, essentially. Because everybody's fucked up. You got to keep that in mind. So when you're going into business or just in general, separate the business with personal. So if you take that risk to do business with friends, be able to have a downfall or a fallout in business and still invite them over your house for dinner as your friend. Because if you don't have that ability to separate the two, you're gonna have a very hard life going
Yeah.
forward. Because you'll always take business home with you and it'd be negative, you know?
Yeah.
So like, if
Real
you go
talk.
out to a board meeting and it's like those people at the board just kind of fucked you over, you're gonna take that shit home. So you have to be able to separate the two, business from personal. And I say that, like I said, I spend every day thinking about business, but I don't let none of that shit get to the family. Because ain't nothing wrong. Yeah. Shit's sweet. Life is sweet. No fucking issues. Yeah. But if it wasn't, the shit wouldn't make it to the family. And it's important to be able to separate the two, because you got to find that balance in life, that happiness, that joy. And don't be afraid just to step away. You know, if you got to take a break, take a break. Because honestly, like, you know, just fucking take a break. Mm-hmm. You know? Oh, and there's another one. If you're working a job, don't take that shit too seriously, because when you die, they're going to replace your ass with somebody else. So, like, if you the fry cook, you know, you the fucking fry cook. That's it. Like, when you die, they're not going to be like, man, this new guy, he don't make fries like Jason used to make fries. Listen, no, they're out of sight, out of mind. So just try and find that happiness, I guess, is the main thing. Just try and find a way to always be happy, because if you're not happy, that shit fucks everything up. You know, if you're not happy, you take that shit home with you, you spread it to your kids, your family, you can fuck everything up if you're not happy. So take a lot of time and focus on you first, because shit, that's another one. Shit, focus on you first. Fuck everybody else. Focus on you, because if you not happy, right? And I've been saying this shit for the longest. If you're not happy, like personally, right? You can't take happiness home with you. You can't give happiness to nobody. If you're not happy, then you are a fucking downer. Take care of you first. If you put everybody before you, what's going to happen is you are not going to be okay. And if you are not okay, then you ain't got shit to give people to put before. It's just going to be this whole cycle of fucking shit fucked up. That's it. I'm leaving on that shit. I'm leaving on that note.
Boom. I love it. Man, great episode. Pleasure having you on. It's been an amazing time. And on that note, it's your boy Chris. I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.